And we are rolling on to the finale of Suburban Nights, the big showdown with Malachite.
But first, Spoony must be glove slapped.
Part 7.
The
All
first
the really
camera
bad
person.
shit happens. So
I do
Brad,
like-
why in your section did you have the different movie titles for each part of Suburban Nights?
That was hilarious.
Because I figure, like, you know, they could watch this movie on any site, you know. My site, you know, you get like some false plot line for each one of them. Well, Bayless for his site, he did he wrote it up as Kickassia 2: Revenge of Baw.
That was also great.
I do like
how
how
he defeats them all with his pinky.
I do like how we all decided to challenge the big bad one at a time, like in a Chuck Norris movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, people
I
brought
think
up
the
on
way
their
that works
forums.
is we're each freaked out by him because each time, so only one of us is brave enough to try to take him on at a time.
Poor Liz.
Yeah,
Poor Liz got kicked right in the knee in that scene.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Al.
She's
was
okay
People
though.
brought up on your
She
forums,
was
Spoony.
she is
People were
happy to do
mentioning-
it.
No, I know.
It's like, how come he mentioned that
Good.
in the Steven Seagal movie review? He mocked it, and how come I don't have direct control of the creative process.
So do we have to assume the last angry geek can actually shoot thunderbolts
Yes, he knows magic.
in continuity?
Yeah, no, he
Did you
was.
know
Yeah.
that?
It's funny that we all go up and fight him, but I never fight him, and I'm the only one with like an actual real weapon. But I don't know. I'm probably still
Hey,
defeat
Suede, I
him.
have to correct you. I never go up to fight him. I just stand there for the entirety of the party.
So do I, with my very
Okay,
bad-looking blade.
Here's where the
I don't know why
lineup.
I'm even hearing this commentary. I don't do anything else in this movie.
Here's where the lineup starts getting really out of continuity between shots.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will explain
Yeah.
the lineup thing that happened with me. I will explain what happened there when we get to my bets.
Orlando did a great job, by the way. And he really got along with everybody. Such a great guy.
yeah.
I just want to give him a shout out because he was a great guy, and we hang out at Denny's at like 2 a.m. and just talk forever about his job. Actually, when he gets a phone call about making coffee, cappuccinos, etc., it's because the guy actually owns a coffee.
See, now I'm
place.
on the left. Look at that. No, I'm not.
We can just never keep it straight.
Oh, if you're watching
Now
in
I'm
the
back.
background, you can tell that Doug's repeated the shot because I do the hand motion of me putting my hand over my mouth, and you see that happen twice. So that's an indicator that Doug has used the same shot twice.
Don't review it.
Sorry, Doug, I just called you Blug.
Don't
Actually-
review it.
Actually, no, that's the Power Glove. It was a device for the Nintendo, and if you think about it, it's completely anachronistic to the timeline of the movie. Shut up!
Okay, this bit right here. What happens is I do the happy little gun twirl. I love doing that. I do my great line. And the thing is, after he sends the flame back, what they cut was me running away afterwards. I'm like, oh crap, I can't take this guy. And I think the reason why he cut it is because Brad does the same thing when he does his whip roll, and it would have been repetitive. But that's why at the end I'm now on the other side with Brad. We've come back to encourage Mati.
You might have.
That was one thing, guys. I was like, are we back? It's because you and I both run away, and then he put us both in the shot later.
My plan is so pathetic.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Maybe it's gonna work.
You understand it's a long shot.
Yeah, cracker crumbs.
Yeah.
I love how disgusted he is with that.
Poor
Here's
Spoony.
Oh,
There's a
hell.
Pokemon reference.
Spoonie's blasting off again.
When Doug released the work print for us to see, and so eventually do dubbing, for extra scenes, this part, basically the whole episode 7 actually had no special effect whatsoever. So all of a sudden it was so weird, to see him dodge bullets that were not there, or the showdown with Matty. There was just people pointing at each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was always funny watching the rough cut because you'd have the lines that were clearly meant to be dubbed in later, dubbed in by Doug.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to-
Doug dubbed everything.
I feel like I need to say something about Nella and Lisa, who Nella was invited, sorta. Doug kind of wanted her to be like my patsy, and be following me around with the coconuts. And Nella couldn't get off work. enough. So basically, that's why it totally got reduced to just like a one-line cameo, which is here.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
Great.
I mean, I wish she could have been in it more because she's funny and like she was like the social butterfly. Like Lisa and I never saw her, and Lisa just sort of like latched on, like, "Hey, I want to come too," and Mashad was like, "Okay," like, go for it. So, so that was.
I love the
that.
cheap dress that she has compared to yours. It's
Yeah, it's made out of bed sheets.
In the final cut, though,
I keep wanting to add a $6 million man sound effect.
You betrayed Shiva.
We all
fuck
say
it.
it.
I like how I'm the only guy out of everyone who actually attempts to physically thwart
Fight
him.
I probably should have pulled out a gun and tried to shoot him.
I guess it shows
Yeah,
how
everyone
much
said you
McGeek I am
should have
when
tried
he
to steal
says-
my gun and tried to shoot him.
Yeah, I should have tried to shoot. Fuck that.
Oh,
I like Phil Brain's expression. He's like, "Oh dear, this simply isn't done."
I don't know. It's like it kind of shows what what you did in your childhood. If when he says you betrayed Shiva, you think of Indiana Jones or Final Fantasy. You just think of this ice lady or something like that. I don't know.
Now, with the exception of most of the shots where Orlando is actually interacting with the cast, the rest of the cast, a lot of the stuff was shot. Oh,
There's a person strolling on the sidewalk, completely oblivious to what's going on behind us. The fate of the universe is being decided in Mortal Kombat, and there's a guy just strolling. Oh, no.
You can see the playground with like a bunch of stuff for kids in
People
the
watching out for my
background.
funny faces. Look at me blatantly overacting this scene.
And so Ed, you were saying about shooting?
Oh, yeah, so I was thinking, so with the exception of the bits where Orlando is actually in the same shot as the rest of the cast, I think a lot of the stuff was shot separately because we were in such a crunch that it was all we could do to just get all of the footage of the folks that had driven in and been flown in and so forth, and just made sure that it was in the can before, you know, we had no more time left.
You were like back to back with Rob, like, and Rob was shooting Orlando, and you were shooting like the rest of the crew, right?
I think it was the other way around. I was usually B camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
We went right down to the wire, and I even asked on Skype before we went. I asked Doug. I said, "What if it rains?" and Doug goes, "Oh, don't worry about that. We got a plan." And I was like, "Yeah, but it's April. It really could rain, and it's Chicago. Every time I've been to Chicago, it rained." And he goes, "Don't worry about it. We got a plan." Well, the plan was we had allocated 2 extra days in Chicago to shoot the movie, but it rained 2 days. Well, really 2.5, but. We barely got this shot. It was very stressful. I mean, we were all very gung ho to do it, but we were still under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Oh yes, nobody cares about my D.
He's going very Denzel Washington in this scene. Like, I'm the police. King Kong ain't got shit on my teeth.
And yeah, people predicted that Monty would come and save the day after all the scenes. But you know what? I think that's a good thing. It's not necessarily bad if it's predictable. It just means that the story structure works right.
So I think the thing about Mati being brought back, here's my logic on this. You knew that Mati was being brought back. You didn't realize he was going to die.
Ah, that's a good one.
You guys had a crowd of people watching while you were filming this too. Like, if you look behind Ellen's hat there, like there was
They had long chair
sitting right there on the field, and Rob had to ask them to move aside because they were in the shot.
They're having like a picnic or something. It's like,
oh yeah.
The most bored people in Chicago.
Hey, we were a bunch of weirdos, and they could watch us like do Shakespeare in the Park.
Yeah. The human spider, we got way better looks.
Oh yeah.
Brad's neighbors were just fucking stunned.
By the way, you can tell Rob's camera work because he does all those really nice, smooth track-ins on Doug and stuff that I can't do because my hands are not steady enough.
Rob is a master of the what we call the Polish Steadicam.
And Spoony coming to save the day. Spoony!
Whee!
I'm fine, thank you, Susan.
It's probably a
Does
good thing
Linkara?
Spoony is blocking out my face. I'm probably overacting here again.
Well, what I don't get is if he knocked you around the world, why did he hit you from the left? He knocked you from the right. You should have been coming in from the right.
It was at a slight angle, so he kind of like.
Well, it's because of an elliptical microgravity phenomenon creates
But
the atmosphere.
orbital
and-
wobble, okay?
Orbital wobble, and yeah. So what was the
Where
question?
Just
Pictures of
the
Suburban
orbital
nice.
You did like a weird figure eight around the planet.
My wife. My wife says we sound like a group of seals here when we start chanting hard, 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 hard.
This scene reminds me of
Geographic again.
this scene reminds me of Big Trouble in Little China when Egg Shen is fighting Lo Pan.
Okay,
You never
Jeremy and
put that
Justin are like embracing each
It's
other.
actually good.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Where,
It's actually a
Lisa
good thing.
left with him because she thinks he's too.
Why the hell would I come back? Brad,
Okay,
It's a good thing
I
that
sensed that Mati needed us. Yeah, but I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't care.
Yeah. He's just here to watch the show.
Fate of the world screw it.
He likes the effects.
Yeah, it's like going to a NASCAR race. You just want to see the crash.
I really hope there's someone walking on the sidewalk after this. Damn it, no.
I came back because I knew he was gonna die.
It'd be great if there were kids playing on the playground.
yeah.
Like on
See,
that
magic
tree
hat.
house.
Yes, the hat was unharmed. It works with Lewis's theory.
There is a car driving
Ah,
back.
yeah.
Meep, meep.
Dun, dun, dun.
A few people have commented I'm wearing blue jeans under my wizard robe, but really, what did Gandalf wear under his wizard robes?
And besides which, you were not
wore
playing
khakis,
Gandalf.
thank
You
you
were
very much.
Spoony playing Gandalf.
Yeah.
It's interesting that Doug takes his tie off. Not his hat, but his tie.
Stole from children.
Oh, there's a shot here that I really regret because I was trying legitimately to tear up and I just looked plain goofy when it cuts to me.
Yeah,
Also shots.
danger.
You'll know
I
when
guess he
you
wants to
see
be
it.
this formal for
It's like all I
the
can do
death scene.
is tremble my. All I can do is tremble my bottom lip.
You know, this is gonna sound ridiculous, but we earned the line: "The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few," more than fucking
Unlike
Michael Bay did.
Transformers, there it
No,
is.
did not.
Well, that's not even a contest. Of course we are. This is a parody. Yeah, this
Transformers
is a
isn't.
comedy spoof. It's not a freaking serious line where we actually drag Leonard
But it
Nimoy
makes
in to play the
logical
part.
sense. In Transformers, it didn't make logical sense. It's like the few Decepticons, all six of you.
Oh,
You can tell we're recording this commentary right after the release of Transformers because we won't shut up about Transformers.
No.
All right, well, the
I
Trans-
I got a little, I want to say I got a little miffed with Doug here because he uses the take where I'm carrying right here. I'm carrying the cash cans. You can see me look at the camera right here, and then I
you're
just look
actually
down.
crying.
And
It's
I-
okay.
I'm
It's
crying
the
too,
John
but you
Landis
get-
moments.
Yeah, I cried. I actually got myself to tear up for saying it would be kind of funny if actually someone was broken up about it, but you can't see it. And I was just fucking. I put myself in a dark place for nothing.
Let's be
And I
real.
brought,
The
I
cameras-
brought the I brought the Star Trek II uniform because I was going to do it for I use it for the Warrior number 4 review. But I knew that since we were doing this parody here, I asked Doug, do you want me to have this to really help the Star Trek II parody? And it's like, yeah, sure.
This scene was actually very hard to shoot for a couple reasons. Number one being Paul had to have something to play,
That's right.
and
Yeah.
he didn't bring us. Either somebody forgot the kazoo or we lost the kazoo.
They
but he was
lost the kazoo.
He was going to play a kazoo, and we had nothing else to play. And so he's like, "What if we had like a leaf of grass? Can people make noise out of leaves of grass?" And we're like, you were like, "I think so." And so like, Paul was sticking grass in his mouth, and like, we're like, it looks stupid, and we're like, improv
Finally,
line.
it ends up playing a cinnamon stick. But...
Yeah.
Actually, like the alternate line for Todd when about the cremation, like originally it was supposed to say, "Yeah, chicks dig cremations." Not sure what that's supposed to mean, but I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Well,
you're
the
right.
idea
I've
behind it,
forgotten that.
was to reinforce the Todd is in love with Lupa thing.
Everyone had to hold their swords up in the air for like 10 minutes.
I
Poor,
don't think
poor
Especially
Suede.
Suede.
Poor
With a-
Suede.
in on that joke.
I was looking at him the whole time, just about to crack up, because you could see after 5 minutes this look of grim determination set on his face. He's like, "I will not lower my arm." And you can see,
I
like,
remember I was in pain during this scene because
Oh,
Doug
faith.
said, "Look up in the sky," and you know what's right in the sky in front of me? The fucking sun.
Yeah.
but like
Oh,
you can see beads of sweat start to like form up on Suede's head, and his teeth were gritty. He's like, "Argh!" Like he was seriously.
And they
Like,
don't even show me.
that was gut check time for poor Suede, man. He made it too. He made it.
Last time I borrow a sword from Bargov.
Bela didn't have any weapons. At one point, he did a Nazi salute for like 3 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Heil Hitler. Yes, rock biter's a Nazi. You didn't know.
Anyway.
But
I
it's
still
from
think
the
it
Les
would
Mis
really
review.
I still think it would have been really funny if it ended where the work print version ended. With just Matee dead. No! Pan back
People are saying-
and
Nice.
People are saying when I finally do Final Fantasy 13, I have to throw that in just to keep continuity.
I think you should.
The original word for it ended after Matee with Matee down on the ground, and then something went to be continued. Do. Just kidding.
So much fun.
Now, Linkara, I can't remember this scene where you're coming up. Was that in the original script? Because I honestly don't remember it.
Yes, it was.
I think
Oh, it was. It was. Okay. I'm sorry. Then.
I was actually kind of surprised that he added that in because it gives me a little bit more to do when other people should have their own scenes to do. And yeah, we had that musical thing, but we didn't really need to have the musical thing. But it still works. It works. I love it. I love being able to finally sing.
You can tell because we don't have the Polish Steadicam in this one.
Lindsay's camera work.
Lindsay's doing the camera work here.
Doug was so sunburned that we had to powder him down because the color contrast was just so off.
No, I think we hadn't made him up yet in this shot.
This had to be last day of shooting because he looks torched.
It was. It was actually a day after regular shooting and concluded the same day we did the rap party, I think.
Lindsay, was that your camera shooting that?
Yes.
sequence?
No, it wasn't my camera. It was
Okay.
the Vixia.
Gotcha.
We used to shoot it, but
Let's all remember how we fucking kicked Matty to the ground.
We were even better prepared for Sunburn this year because Kick-Ass, we all got friggin' just.
Except
yeah.
me, I would like to stress I didn't
Except
get
Film
sunburned,
Brain, who was very smart.
twice in a row I didn't get sunburned.
I'm right there with you, man. I took every advantage to put on the sunburn, the sunscreen,
To put on the sunburn.
and I brought allergy medication because every time I did one of these, I got sick right afterwards. So I brought meds with me.
I got very mildly sunburned in very weird places because the hat actually
Why?
kept off most of the sun except on my huge nose. So my nose, which sticks out very prominently, got sunburned like crazy.
my hat kept me pretty well covered. I didn't get sunburned during this because my hat shaded me pretty well.
I remember Todd had it worse because his chest was exposed. So
He had a sunburn on his chest and like the lower half of his face.
Margo had it
Determined.
pretty bad, as far as I remember as well.
The hood of shame protected me well from the sun.
Yeah, true.
Oh my God! I won a car.
Where did they send the letter?
A
To
lot
the
of people
bum.
pointed out
Wherever
that,
they live.
So
why
when-
would you need the bump on a quest? Like,
All right, let's go down the line. Closing thoughts on this movie. I'll start. Say what you want about this
can
film. It's still better than Furry Vengeance.
I've got the Blu-ray.
Spoony, can I just give a shout out to Marianne, which is sitting right next to me because she did the artwork that you guys are actually seeing right now.
Absolutely.
Um,
And it's amazing.
She did a great
She did great artwork. She originally started with dogs, and actually what transpires is that, well, the inspiration was of course stained glass artwork from very medieval, a bit like what you had in the artwork for the Legend of Zelda, the Wind Waker. So try to do something different than Kikassia, but with still a medieval flair to it. And actually, what transpires is that the first one that was done was Doug, and you had this flatness to it, kind of like actual stained glass artwork. But then you can see that you have like as she would draw them to draw them, you had like more dynamic to the characters because like she got more confident with it. And actually, Brad had to be done like twice because on the first one it was too stale, too flat, and so we added more dynamic to the Brad's artwork in the end. So that's just what I wanted to say.
Yeah, very good. And special thanks to Sad Panda for the great theme song. Anyone else got something to say?
I'm just glad they spelled my name right.
I just want to say before we wrap up, I want to thank the walkers in the channel and people for inviting me.
Yeah.
Best time of my life.
Absolutely. There was an unbelievable amount of dedication, organization, and faith in us to get us all down there and shoot this. You give us the opportunity to shoot this amazingly funny movie. And so, yeah, I very much appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Doing it in a heartbeat.
Aside from minor nitpicky things. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just that it all turned out well, and yeah, I'm really glad I went. Me too.
Yeah, aside from minor nitpicky things, I really enjoyed this. Best time of my life. Always loved working with you guys.
Honestly, yeah, this was the best time that we've done, all the three of them that I've been there for.
Yeah. So again, thanks.
Best
and
time of my life. So much better than my wedding day.
He's sorry, right after my wedding day, so it was a double hitter for me.
But yeah, Lewis, Matthew, Bennett, Brad, Lisa, Justin, Ed, William, Benzai, Lindsay,
John Boy,
John Boy, just
Chief.
Thank you, everybody for helping me out on this commentary. I hope I haven't forgotten anybody, but I'm sure people will love to hear it. So until next time, this is Channel Awesome signing out.